Time for the nightcap in match week 8 of MLS Next Pro from Fullerton, California, where a pair of exciting young squads lock horns out west. LAFC 2 hosting Colorado Rapids 2 in what should be an exciting battle between these squads. We say hello and welcome from Titan Stadium. I'm Sam Goldfarb, thrilled to bring you all of the action. A major battle in the Western Conference. An LAFC 2 squad hoping to prove last week's defeat against the Town was an anomaly. They lost 5-1, but it gets a lot more difficult against a Rapids 2 side with table-topping aspirations. 3 points could surge them atop the Western Conference by the end of the evening. It's time to get a look at our starting lineup, starting with Junior Gonzalez's bunch. We mentioned the defeat last week. They make 3 changes from the 5-1 loss. Thomas Hasal is the big one between the sticks. He makes his Next Pro debut for 2025, has spent the bulk of this year as Hugo Lloris's reserve with the first team, so major experience between the sticks. And then as you head further up front, the same front 3 as last week. Tommy Mahalik, the converted forward, once again at striker in the absence of the super draft pick Alec Hughes, who's been out the last 5 games. On the other side of things, for the visitors in Rapids 2, they make 6 changes from last week's dominant victory over Sporting Kansas City 2. Very interesting. They are without Anderson Hossa tonight, who's out with injury. Sam Bassett also out of the squad, one of the creative midfielders. And then up front, the front 3 entirely changed. Colton Swan back into the lineup alongside Mamadou Bilo Diop and Anthony Garcia. Just about set for kickoff here from Titan Stadium in Fullerton. Both teams taking the pitch. It is just the 3rd meeting since the start of last season between these two teams. LA taking 5 points from an available 6 in this fixture a year ago, but these teams very different. A Rapids 2 squad that finished bottom of the West in 2024. It has been a much-needed return to form for Eric Boucher's bunch. For LA on the other side, of course, a team that finished in the top 5 of the West, fell in the Western Conference quarterfinals, and then has gotten a lot younger this year. Many of the key players from last season either departing or moving up to the first team. It's a side that has been through a mixed bag of results. A pair of wins, a pair of losses, a pair of draws. When talking to Junior Gonzalez, he's mentioned the need to see out results. It is about defensive mentality at this point, being able to turn positive starts into legitimate results. We'll see if they can start to churn out points tonight against one of the hotter sides in the Western Conference, a Rapids 2 squad that enters with 4 wins in its last 5 league matches. We see LAFC 2 in the black and gold kits, their classic home strip, decked out tonight in Fullerton. Just beyond 7 p.m. local time. It's 10 p.m. on the East Coast. So for those of you joining us on the other side of the country, we welcome you to MLS Next Pro After Dark. For those of you on the West Coast, we say hello at a normal hour for kickoff. 58 degrees, a bit chilly for the greater LA area, but that's where we find ourselves. So we just wait the referee's signal. Alex Harris stands over this. Colorado going left to right on your screen in the white with maroon numbers. LA going right to left. Rapids 2 by the end of the night could head atop the Western Conference, but it requires 3 points in order to do so. Underway here from Fullerton. Sam Goldfarb bringing you all of the action tonight. The final game in match week 8 on this Sunday night. And it should be a barn burner. A pair of teams that score at a pretty efficient clip. Both teams looking to solidify things defensively as well. There's the first touch from Chan Tak, making his first start, the Rapids Academy product. It's a Colorado team that doesn't have many players in the squad that are actually inked to second-team deals. A lot of academy products, many first-teamers. It's very similar for LAFC 2 as well. It's a thin second-team roster, especially for LA. They tend to move people through the developmental window quickly. They're not shy about bringing first-teamers down to the second team. Here's Campagnolo, the youth international in the United States system. A loose pass to Chantak from Harper. Talking to Junior Gonzalez this week, he mentioned how difficult the 5-1 defeat at the Town was to stomach. His side didn't start well, fell behind early around 10 minutes. He said there was a promising response around the final 20 to 25 of the first, but then of course Christian Diaz sent off just after the restart, and from there things really unraveled. Fell 3-0 down, and despite consolation, they were tagged twice more in the final 5 minutes. It's about rebounding from that in a positive manner. Not too many changes as we highlighted off the top, so we will see if this unit can get the job done. Campagnolo has issues playing this goal kick. And here is Walters. Sprayed wide to Carlos Diaz, the 19-year-old. Part of an interesting trend in LAFC too. Many players who move across El Trafichico lines in their youth days. Diaz, one of those who began with the LAFC Academy, then a stint with Galaxy's Academy last year, and now on a second-team deal with LAFC too. Here comes the black and golds. Diaz. He's looking for the run of Saldana, who loses out. And now Rapids breaking the other way. This is Bilo Giab, the 18-year-old forward. Flashing it across. Balls for Swan. Now chipped in. First chance just goes begging for Rapids 2. Harris heads wide. That is their bread and butter. Attacking transitions, the name of the game, according to Eric Boucher, and you see it here. They're slowed down just enough, and this takes a lot of redirection from Harris to get it on frame. He's, unfortunately for Rapids, unable to do so. On the other side of the coin entering tonight, we've mentioned Rapids' hot streak, a team that opened the year winless in its previous 9 Next Pro games, dating back to mid-July. They dropped their first 2, only earn a point from the first 2. But there was signs of promise. Eric Boucher saying teams weren't playing through us after the first match against Austin. And since the turn of the calendar to April, they have been a tough nut to crack. 4 wins in 5 entering tonight. They bounced back from the Minnesota defeat last Wednesday with a really dominant 3-0 victory over Sporting Kansas City 2 last Sunday, and got themselves in a really positive position in the early stages of 2025. Here's Harris winning this back. Played off to the Academy product in Swan, who celebrated his 18th birthday yesterday. Harris cutting across, a chance, it's still loose. And finally running out of real estate are Rapids 2. Anthony Garcia causing trouble already. You see here the cross, it comes to Garcia, doesn't contact it as sweetly as he would have liked, and a relatively routine save for Hasala in the end. But that is the warning shot when you play Colorado. They love to break. A team that has been so lethal on the counterattack in the opening stages of this year. When talking to Eric Boucher, he says, I would rank our attacking transitions amongst the best in the league. And while he hasn't broken down the numbers fully, he says they pass the eye test very much in that regard. This is chipped over the top to Cairo Walters. Carlos Diaz. Moyado. This is DeCarlo Guerra, converted center back tonight, more known for his abilities as a holding midfielder. Moyado, he slips. It's one back by Pinto. Garcia. Flicked along by Swanabilo Giab. It will be interesting to see how Colorado especially fares. We mentioned all the changes. Not having Sam Bassett in the squad tonight certainly presents a quandary. He's one of the top key pass providers in MLS NEXT Pro. They've gone younger on the front line tonight. Guerra looking long, just beyond the reach of Cairo Walters. One of two loanees from the Liga Panameña. A Panamanian top flight in the 11 for LAFC2 on this occasion. Saldana. Walters. It's a loose pass, one that wound up at Amadou's boots briefly. Comes back to Walters now. Carlos Diaz. If you're just joining us, we welcome you into Fullerton, California. Sam Goldfarb bringing you all of the action. No score early on between LAFC 2 and Colorado Rapids 2. LAFC currently enters the night just outside the playoff places, but only by a point, as Moyado is slow to get up after that challenge. Colorado, we've mentioned it off the top, 3 points would take them atop the Western Conference standings tonight. As you see Moyado just shoved by Mamadou Bilo Diop. Not much in it, but enough to send him clattering to the deck. This is excellent interplay. And options for LA. Decent stop there from Campagnolo. Looked like Sebastian Nava strolling forward. His first involvement, and it did at least draw Campagnolo into action. Saldana. Just beyond the 10-minute threshold, and it is LA playing the role of the aggressor, but Colorado keeping them honest on the break as expected. It is not a Rapids 2 side that will willingly cede possession. Eric Boucher emphasized that strongly with me on the phone this week. Said, at no point do I expect them to play through us. We will hold our own on the possessional front. But we are lethal on the break as well. It's a ball that's just overcooked for Saldana, and this is Colton Swan. Garcia. Should wide to Jaden Chantak. Swan laying it back off to Chantak. He was weaving through a convoy of defenders before losing out. And it may open up for LA the other way. Nava laying it off. It was a decent effort from Mahalik, but one that was right at Campagnolo. Bevy of chances here for the black and gold in the early stages, and Sebastian Nava at the heart of both. You see the 1-2 that buys him space to open up his hips here. Just doesn't put enough curl on it. And then at the second time of asking on the break, he plays it early through to Mahalik, who goes near post right at Campagnolo. Well, fans, this portion of the match is brought to you by BMO, the official bank of LAFC. We rapidly approach the quarter of an hour mark here from Fullerton, California. It is one of the banner clashes of the match week in match week 8 of MLS Next Pro. It is also the final. It will be a standalone match at about halftime when the Town finish up in a matter of moments. But the way these teams score, it could promise to be a barn burner out west. Here's Flores. Looking through for Alex Harris. And immediately discarded by Eric Diaz. Well, there's your first proper look at Thomas Hasal. We mentioned early in the year he was the top backup to Hugo Lloris with the first team. Made an MLS appearance against Seattle Sounders in March, but was shelled for 5 goals in that match and only made 6 stops. Since then, he's fallen behind David Ochoa and getting a game in the Next Pro ranks to keep his skill sharp. It's always tough as a goalkeeper when you have that much prolonged time off to remember all the good habits. So an opportunity for the 25-year-old Hasal to keep the tools sharp. A late challenge, whistle sounds against Walters. Early intrigue in this, a couple of half chances both ways, but nothing that Campagnolo or Hasal haven't seen the full way. You get the sense that once the ball hits the back of the net, if and when it does, this could open up in a hurry. As our head official, Servando Berna, having a conversation with Carlos Diaz. Swan was offside. What is an interesting scenario, this? Because LA, despite being competitive, only notched 1 win in 5 matches across all competitions in April. And it was a busier slate for the black and gold, of course, playing in the US Open Cup and being defeated by AV Alta in the second round on April 1st. But it's been a challenge to see out results at times, according to Junior Gonzalez. Part of that is the byproduct of having a newer team, a younger team than last year. You don't have the veterans going forward as well, like Luis Mueller and others. The other part of it he mentioned was mentality to me. In key moments when you go up protecting the lead, a lot of that battle is more mental than physical, not switching off in key moments. You saw a little bit of that in their season opener, took the 3-0 lead against Vancouver and ultimately conceded 3 times in the second to go to penalties. That is where the primary concern lies, especially after being hit for 5 last week. Mahalik. This is Walters. Saldana. Flashed wide now. The cross from Nielsen is blocked at the source. Seeing some good moments, though, especially through the boots of Nava. To the top towards Walters now, and beyond his reach. Well, the counterpart to Hasal is Campagnolo, the Rapids Academy graduate who signed his first pro contract with R2 on March 18th. I got the chance to speak with him this week. He's mentioned the importance of building a rapport with his teammates at the back, especially for a Rapids team that has really altered its back line considerably from match to match this past month, I should say. Says it's all about honesty. You can be blunt with one another and get your point across while building a relationship off the pitch. As Walters is dispossessed in the area. It's about building the trust off the pitch so you can be very honest with each other on the pitch and not take it personally. It's led to really positive communication between himself and his defenders. He's a bit more familiar with his center backs tonight, of course, in Belouz and Harper. Two of the more experienced presences on this Rapids 2 back line. The switch of the play wide to Nielsen, donning the captain's armband tonight. Diaz lost his footing. That may be unnecessary, and Diaz is going to be the first man booked. Well, clearly thought it was LA throw, and is very wrong here. Loses his footing. Just comes together with Flores inexplicably. Carlos Diaz will walk the tightrope for the remainder of this contest.
The head referee issued a yellow card warning to LAFC2 with the 19th minute of play. The yellow card warning issued to player number 72, Carlos Diaz.
Amadou ran into trouble briefly, and Swan is sent tumbling. Well, fans, this portion of the match is presented by DoorDash, exclusive on-demand delivery partner of LAFC. We're 20 minutes gone. Here from Fullerton, California, Sam Goldfarb bringing you all of the action in this clash out west between Colorado Rapids 2 and LAFC 2. So far, cagier than perhaps we would have expected. A couple of half chances both ways, but nothing to trouble either goalkeeper just yet. Both teams likely understand the stakes tonight. Of course, for LA, it's about climbing back into that top 8. And for Colorado, a 5th win in the last 6 would power them atop the Western Conference standings. So much to play for to begin May for both these sides on Star Wars night here at Titan Stadium. May the 4th be with all of you listening tonight. Saldana wins this back. And this is Nielsen, the 23-year-old. Moyado looking through to Walters. Tussling through traffic, and the flag was raised regardless. It's close here. And he does start his run just a touch early. He's beyond Flores, the last defender at the time the ball's played. Certainly a tight decision, but not one that Walters appealed particularly much. Pinto, it's a heavy touch. It comes to Matt Evans, who's been so dynamic going forward. Nava, Nielsen, chopping it back for Evans, and it is right at Campagnolo in the end. We were wondering when number 70 in black and gold would step up. Here's his first involvement. He continues his run. It's a high chip ball from Nielsen. Does well to redirect it, all things considered. The ball was played behind him. There is the warning shot from one of the top attacking midfielders on the young campaign. Someone with 6 goals in 8 matches across all competitions for LAFC 2. Below Giab. Chantak is on his horse, and he does get there. Garcia. Amadou. Flores ran out of ideas. Moyado. A match between the 18s at this point. I think both sides wary of their opponent's reputation on the break. We've spoken at length about Colorado's ability to counter. I've already seen the pace on LA's wings tonight. Both Nava and Walters causing danger in possession in the open field. Swan. And this is Harris. He's looking for Chantak, and Nielsen was first to it. Here's Harris. Someone that Eric Boucher raves about. Says regardless of whether he's with the first or second team, he gives it his 100%. And when you look at Harris, someone who was the 4th overall pick in this year's Super Draft, you would have figured maybe he'd make his way to the first team, but has spent the bulk of his time with Eric Boucher in Rapids too, and the coaching staff is ecstatic with what they've gotten so far from him. First career goal last week as well. Very industrious going forward. And here is Harris. Loses out that time to Nava. Pinto. Amadou. There's a man down for Colorado. It is Anthony Garcia just gingerly walking off the knock. Swan looking through to Bilo Diop, who's been increasingly involved here. Sent down by Diaz, who's already on the yellow, but this was a clean challenge according to our official, Servando Berna. when you look at both these sides, it's a very interesting tale of two seasons to begin their respective tenures in MLS Next Pro. Colorado's side that has been in Next Pro, I should say now, in its fourth year, but in 2023 finished top of the West. Eric Boucher, the 2023 Next Pro Coach of the Year, a side that made its way to the Western Conference semifinals before falling in the playoffs. Last season, though, a major regression back to earth. And a side that was much younger, lost a lot of its key contributors, as is the natural scenario when you field a very competitive Next Pro team the year before. But they have readjusted their roster, only 7 major returners from a season ago, and find themselves competitive again. A bevy of draft picks, new additions. Here's Diaz from afar, carried away by Campagnolo. They've continued to reload with talent, bring guys through the academy. And to open this year, 4 wins from 7. This is Carlos Diaz. Moyado chipping towards Sebastian Nava. And only as far as Nielsen. LA continuing to twist the screws. Nava got his head to this. Took a touch out of play just for a goal kick. We see chance after chance, none of them particularly glaring, but Diaz sees nobody close him down. He says, why not have a pop? Fortunately for him, well within the range of Campagnolo. On the other side, when you evaluate LA, a team in just its 3rd season of Next Pro competition, just 28 points from as many matches in their inaugural campaign, and they completely alter the entire trajectory of things. Bring in Junior Gonzalez, someone who's extremely familiar with talent in the Southern California region. And meanwhile, they move the previous head coach, Enrique Duran, up to a front office role, or a first-team assistant role, I should say. And what that did was allow Junior Gonzalez to rebuild the squad, bring guys through the academy, and they finished 5th in the West with one of the more high-octane attacks in 2024. This is snatched back. Garcia. LA in retreat. Anthony Garcia. He would have been hoping for a slightly better final product. On the initial giveaway, this looked particularly dangerous, but LA recovers well, and instead of crossing this in, Garcia just lashes at it. In the end, nothing to cope with for Hasal. Well, fans, this portion of the match is brought to you by Ford. At the 30-minute threshold between Rapids 2 and LAFC 2. This is Walters. Moyado. Diaz. Mahalik. The reigning Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year with Indiana this past fall. Nava. Mahalik coming deep to claim now. Evans. It is aesthetically pleasing, but very little incision on this build thus far for LA. Nielsen. Floating it towards the back post. Nearly made its way to Cairo Walters, but Flores first to it. There is a lot of conversation around the LA organization about finding a center forward for LAFC2. Remember, this year they opened with Alec Hughes as their proper striker, one of the best center forwards in all of college soccer at UMass a season ago. And he scored twice in his first two, but since his early season injury, they've lacked a proper center forward, playing Mahalik out of position right now. Here's Moyato from afar. There's one for the cameras, but not one that troubled Campagnolo. We see Nava just play this inside. Amadou does well to at least throw Moyato off the pace. And he just sprays it high and wide in the end. Approaching the business end of this first half here in Fullerton at the 10,000-seat venue, Titan Stadium. Tim Goldfarb here, some MLS Next Pro After Dark in the Western Conference. Right now, cagier than we would have expected. A match that's been played between the 18s. There's been some semblance of deference to both teams' abilities on the counter. And you've noticed a cautiousness with which both teams have built up so far. As this wears on, you figure it will open up. These two teams too good in front of goal to just settle for this scoreline, you'd think. We'll see if that manifests itself, though. Nava taking on Chantak. Harper comes to the rescue. Diaz, Evans, Walters. Nelson was looking for Nava on the early ball. Bilo Giap. This is Colton Swan, the two-time rising star of the match week this season, already for Rapids 2. And that is a very late tackle from Walters, one which will doom him to the book with a yellow. And with the nature with which he came in, studs up, perhaps he's fortunate for it only to be yellow. You get another look here. He is going for the ball, but he misses horribly right into the ankle of Colton Swan. He's still slow to return to his feet. If you are a follower of the Rapids organization, you'll be holding your breath. Swan, 18 years old, already 3 goals to his name this season, and has stormed onto the scene to open 2025. Still nursing. Bit of a knock after that challenge by Cairo Walters came in very late. We get your look for the first time at LAFC2's coaching staff. We've mentioned how Junior Gonzalez has revitalized this team after a really rough first season in 2023. In his debut campaign in 24, guiding them to their first ever postseason berth and doing it on the strength of their high-octane attack. A side that finished 5th in the West, but they were rewarded with a trip to St. Louis City, too, the 2 seed, after in the pick your opponent phase, a lot of the top seeds were seemingly scared of Houston Dynamo Does, a side that really caught fire towards the end of last season. So LA had to travel to St. Louis, and despite taking an early lead, fell 2-1, conceding at the death to lose. But Junior Gonzalez mentioning how valuable and experienced that was for the returners, and doing a lot to build a positive culture of winning around the club, at least around the second team ranks. Of course, the first team's been doing that for quite some time. Although not a season, at least not a start to remember for LAFC's MLS outfit in 2025. Loose pass from Amadou. Moyato onto it. He's looking over the top for Mahalik, who may have been offside anyways. Into the final 10 minutes of this first half, Sam Goldfarb from Fullerton, California. Here out west, just 45 minutes from downtown Los Angeles. It's LAFC 2 and Colorado Rapids 2. And LA looking to break. Shantak reading the ball from Nielsen. And here's Tommy Mahalik. Walters sent tumbling. Appeals ignored immediately by the referee. On paper, it looked to be a match of two high-powered attacks. A Colorado Rapids 2 side that scored the joint 7th most goals in MLS Next Pro with 13. LAFC 2 not far behind with 11 goals, although they've run into a bit of trouble the last few matches after opening the year with 6 goals combined across the first 2 league matches. Some work to be done to revitalize the attack. This is a loose back pass, and Bilo Diop onto it. It's Eric Diaz to the rescue. It goes out for the match's first corner, just shy of 40 minutes in. And, well, you can scratch that because it is a goal kick. As Diaz is down after the challenge. The 19-year-old Diaz, slow to his feet, on loan from Panamanian side Tauro in the Panamanian top flight. Has been a mainstay in the heart of defense since joining the club a couple months back. Shantak. Garcia back for Shantak. Space to cross here. A low ball in. He's looking for Swan. It was read to perfection. And Nava is sent clattering to the deck. Taken quickly. Mahalik. Tommy Mahalik cuts inside. May have taken a deflection, and that it did. After Jedi mind tricks moments ago, we now have our first corner of the match. You see Mahalik latch on to this. Just cuts inside Belus, trying to wrap it around him. And it may have ultimately deflected off the Syracuse man. Taken short to Evans. Snatched back by Diaz. Challenge comes in, and the referee may have just pointed to the spot. That he did. Eric Diaz taking the contact And we may have a spot kick from 12 yards in a matter of moments. Well, you see here, Diaz just shrugs Balous off it. And then it's just a 50-50. And Balous does get some of the ball here. Tell you what, this may be a very soft penalty if it stands. It's definitely got some contact on Diaz, but at least according to the replay, it looked like he may have gotten the ball first. Well, it has been ruled a penalty. The referee confirms his decision, points to the spot. And well, this will be a point of controversy amongst the Rapids coaching staff now. Because at least according to the replay, it did appear Josh Balous got the ball first. And it will set up the black and gold from 12 yards with a chance to take the lead. DeCarlo Guerra stands over this. The converted center back tonight will square off against Campagnolo. Has scored twice this season already. The last time came in the second round of the U.S. Open Cup against AV Alta. His only league goal came in El Trafichico against LA Galaxy 2, now Ventura County FC. So it is Guerra against Campagnolo. Guerra converts. It will be marred in controversy, but LA won't care. LAFC 2 leads 1-0. Guerra's second league goal this season, and you gotta look at what caused it. Annick Diaz strolling into the box. It will be a penalty that Rapids fans will disagree with. It is one that LA fans will rejoice, and what a penalty this is from DeCarlo Guerra. Top bins, roofing it into the net and putting LAFC 2 in front. So a second league goal, third in all comps for the LAFC Academy product, DeCarlo Guerra. His third season under contract with the second team, and someone who is one of the elder statesmen despite being just 17 years of age with the club. And we'll see how that alters things. Now Walters giving chase. Flag stays down. It's Walters. Late intervention does the job. LA with the wind in their sails now. You see Cairo Walters. He has the step on Balous, who impedes him just enough to allow the reinforcements to arrive. As now Rapids 2 dodging a bullet. Garcia. Chantak tinking it into Swan. A heavy touch that is stabbed away, and Alex Harris slow to get up. For those that care, the shots advantage strongly in LA's favor. An 8-3 shots advantage for LAFC 2. A 5-1 shots on target advantage as well. Rapids 2's only shot on goal came from afar right into the gloves of Thomas Hasal. Will be 3 minutes of added time that separate us from intermission. As things stand, DeCarlo Guerra's 43rd minute penalty is what makes the difference. And it will be a conversation point among both sets of fans after the match, I'm sure. This is curled and it's in! Trickling through a thicket of defenders. Rapids 2 is level, and Malik Pinto pulling them on an even playing field. Well, you don't have to worry as much about the impact of the penalty because Pinto has pulled them right back on a level playing field. You see him just latch onto this, and it just rolls through the impeded vision of Thomas Hasal, who's unable to get a glove to it. And just like that, Colorado's level. What a turn of events this is. A match where things were so cagey for the better part of 45 minutes. We find ourselves level at 1-1 on the precipice of halftime. 22-year-old Malik Pinto, the former FC Cincinnati man, who split time between the first and second team in his 2 years at FC Cincinnati. Joining on a Next Pro contract with Rapids 2 this offseason and bagging his second league goal of the campaign. And one that just trickled almost helplessly beyond the reach of Hasal, who definitely saw it late. Nava. Harris is chopped at the legs. And Saldana will pay the price with a booking. We see here the quick break from Nava. A lot of good things have come when he's had the ball on that right flank. And it's persistent violations which garnered the referee's attention. Perhaps time for one final foray forward for Colorado. Flores. Dispossessed by Walters. Cleared only as far as the goal scorer, Pinto. Long throw from Flores. Flicked along. It fell for Pinto, and this much more routine for Hasal, who had no white or black shirts in his way that time. Well, there's the halftime whistle. It was an opening 45 minutes that was largely cagey. Few chances, or few clear-cut chances at that. But things opening up late. That's a Carlo Guerra 43rd minute penalty, one which is definitely controversial from our view, giving LA the early advantage. But then in stoppage time of the first half, Malik Pinto scoring from afar to pull Colorado level. Well, our score at the half is LA 1, Colorado 1. Highlights, stats, and this week's report are coming up after this break. Stick with us on MLSNextPro.com.
If I got it, then I bought it. Take a bite, cause I want it. And I know I got the taste for the cake. And I take what I make and I flaunt it, flaunt it. Got diamonds on my necklace. I live how I like. So looks is getting reckless. I'm feeling myself and you can't break my vibe. I'm feeling myself and you can't break my vibe. You can't break my vibe. You can't break my vibe.
Action.
Upcoming schedule a little later, but first, Minnesota United 2 is off to an impressive start this season, so Anne-Marie Aguilar went there to bring us this week's edition of The Report.
Pulls it down, it's onside, Knight fires and scores!
Marie squares. Off the volley, 5-1.
Now Hutchinson up top, oh what a strike!
Welcome to Minnesota, where the Twosies have a well-deserved homecoming after the first 2 months of their schedule. We're here for this edition of The Report. I'm April Marie Aguilar. Playing on the road isn't easy. Playing long stretch of road games is even more challenging. Not only has Minnesota United FC2 handled it well, they've managed to make history. Minnesota, with an unprecedented start to their season. 4 wins in 4 games, all of them away from home, taking a perfect 12 points out of 12 available. And after shutting out Colorado in match week 7, the Loons ended the month of April with 10 goals for, just 3 against, and 2 clean sheets. Here's their head coach and MLS Next Pro's Coach of the Month, Jeremy Hall.
Kind of shocked, but to be honest with you, I'm really excited for it. I think it's a good club recognition. If I was doing this by myself, I definitely wouldn't be able to do it, and I have some amazing staff that help me out day to day. The players have been amazing, and so I'm just happy for the club, and hopefully we can continue this thing going.
Minnesota United FC2 is one of only 3 MLS Next Pro teams to win their first 4 games in a season. And they're the only team to start a season by winning their first 4 games, all on the road. The Loons look to qualify for the playoffs for the first time in their 4-year history. For as good of a start as Minnesota's had, it's Chattanooga FC earning the honor of MLS Next Pro's Team of the Month. They won their first 3 games in April before losing to Columbus Crew 2. That 3-game win streak was their longest since joining MLS Next Pro, and it made them unbeaten in their first 6 games this season. Even with the match week 7 loss, the boys in blue still ended the month leading the league in points.
What are you most proud of the team's performances in the month of April?
I think the different type of performances that we've shown. So all have been difficult games, but for various reasons. So to see how the team adapt, how the team have been resilient in different moments, that's huge. And I think that's part of what we want to do as a club and our identity, to see that we can find different ways of winning games, different ways of being competitive. And the guys have shown that with different lineups and different players having different roles at different times. So that flexibility, the adaptability, and just the continuity of it has been really, really pleasing to see.
Going by points, Chattanooga FC matched their best start to a season since becoming a professional team in 2019. They're slightly ahead of the pace they were on last season when they just missed the MLS Next Pro Cup playoffs. Meanwhile, no surprise that Osaze de Rosario has been named Player of the Month. He scored 5 goals in 3 games, including back-to-back braces against LAFC2 and Sporting KC2. De Rosario led the league with 8 goals through the month of April, scoring in all 5 of Tacoma's games this season.
Just like to say thank you for the award, Player of the Month. I'm super happy, super excited to be nominated and selected. Thank you very much. Go Sounders.
As for the other monthly award winners, Pedro Cruz wins Goalkeeper of the Month. Just 2 goals allowed in 3 Houston Dynamo games, all of them wins. And Colton Swan's game-winning goal against North Texas SC earned him the title of Rising Star of Match Week 6. And now, Rising Star of the Month. Big news from Michigan, as the nonprofit company Grand Action 2.0 hosted a ceremonial groundbreaking on the new Amway Stadium in Grand Rapids. Construction on the 8,500-seat downtown stadium is slated for the completion in the spring of 2027. That's also when West Michigan Soccer will begin its inaugural season in MLS Next Pro. West Michigan is one of 4 teams that will be joining the league in the next 2 years, along with clubs in Jacksonville, Cleveland, and Connecticut. That will give MLS Next Pro a total of 6 independent clubs, with Chattanooga FC and Carolina Core FC already in the fold. Over 160 players have signed with Major League Soccer first teams after competing in MLS Next Pro. And in April, 2 MLS Next Pro alumni gave us some of the best action in MLS. In Charlotte, Idan Toclomari scored his first goal in MLS in dramatic fashion, a game winner against Nashville SC in the 90th minute. Toclomari appeared in 7 games last season with Crown Legacy FC, where he scored 3 goals to go along with his 2 assists. A week later, Gerardo Valenzuela of FC Cincinnati turned the DC United defenders inside out, scoring a golazo. Dado joined FC Cincinnati Academy in 2020 and has been with the first team since the 2023 season. Now, let's take a look at the current MLS Next Pro players. It's the top goals for the month of April.
In 2025. Rincon, and no chance. Lost 2 defenders and gives for Vasquez. Vasquez puts it in there. The header, and it's in! Stas Korzeniowski! This is just a perfect ball in from Vasquez. And Korzeniowski using that size advantage.
Dominated possession in this match. Canetti, Nziengo, Glory Nziengo. Wow! Oh ho ho! This ball comes into Nziengo, space and opportunity, and he just dumps it right over the goalkeeper.
Corner for Huntsville. Towards the back post. Carmichael! Oh, man! A howitzer! Oh, man! No chance for Patrick Lose.
Marcanic, Lasanvi. Oh, wow! That is incredible! Louis Lasanvi. Anthony Marcanic just puts it back into the box. Lasanvi doesn't know who's behind him, but it hits the target. Hold behind it. Sarver sends it in. Ball is there! Oh my! An absolute golazo! 1-goal lead. Spectacular from Gavin Gall.
Well, that does it for this edition of The Report. Be sure to tune into the next episode for the latest and greatest around MLS Next Pro. We'll see you next time. Adios.
Attractive. I'm hanging on like a fridge to a magnet. It's a jigsaw with all the right pieces. You and me, we go good together. You and I go good together. You and I, we go good together. We go good together.
Action!
Back here in Fullerton, we're at halftime. It is all knotted between LAFC 2 and Colorado Rapids 2. A 1-1 scoreline, a pair of tallies in the late stages of that first half, putting both teams on the score sheet. And speaking of that first half, how about we pivot back to the opening 45 minutes, get a look at our halftime highlights. Half chances both ways for the bulk of the initial 40 to 42 minutes. This was the best early chance from Colorado, and then LA really began to build comfortably. Sebastian Nava was the architect of a lot of positive chances for the black and gold. You see him come through here at the second time of asking, play it through to Mahalik, who just put this too tight on the near post. And Campagnolo had a number of half chances to deal with. This the best of them. Evans forced to redirect this. And then LA just continued to push on, a long-range effort from Carlos Diaz, and then this is where the controversy begins. Eric Diaz off a corner, sashaying into the box. He's tugged down. It looks like Blues gets the ball, but Guerra says, that doesn't matter. You've given us a penalty. I will roof it into the net and put us in front. And it looked like, okay, we're going into halftime 1-0. Colorado with other ideas. You see Anthony Garcia lose the ball here. Malik Pinto just curls it, and it trickles through a number of defenders. Impeded vision from Thomas Hasal, and that makes the difference in stoppage time. Pinto pulling Colorado level to put them on an even playing field at the break. You look at the first half stats, and LA with the bulk of the chances and possession, out shooting Colorado Rapids 2-9-5. Also have the same number of shots on goal as Rapids 2 have shots. So it's been a pretty stark control of the match from LAFC 2, but it's not like they're overwhelming Colorado. Rapids 2's had their moments on the break and even in possession, and they took the big chance on the stroke of halftime to pull themselves level. All in all, sets the stage for what should be a really enthralling final 45 minutes. Before we can get to that, though, it's time to look ahead at the Match Week 9 schedule in MLS Next Pro, a loaded Friday slate. 7 matches on May 9th, and then as you head further down, Carolina Core at home against Huntsville City. We round out the weekend with 2 matches on Sunday, and then next Tuesday, Ventura County hosting Austin FC2 at a 10 p.m. kickoff. That should be a fun one in LA. That is what you're looking at ahead of the next slate of matches. El Trafichico, of course, Friday night. That should be a very fun one to get a glimpse of. We're back here from Fullerton. It all hangs in the balance for LAFC 2 and Rapids 2. Okay. Hearing word that LAFC 2 has made a change. And it will be waiting to get official word on the change. Maybe Brian Moyato who vacates. We'll await confirmation on it, though. Derek Jones Jr. is set to enter. Just awaiting our referee signal. And we are back underway from Fullerton. It all hangs in the balance here ahead of the final 45 minutes between LAFC 2 and Colorado Rapids 2. LA looking to get back to winning ways after dropping points in back-to-back matches. Colorado looking to climb atop the West if all breaks right. So Jones Jr. is officially into the match. We're just waiting on word on who it is for. Jones Jr. is a fullback, or a natural fullback at that, who's started 5 matches this year. This is his first substitute appearance in MLS Next Pro play. Has scored once this season. Has dished out an assist. It came in the U.S. Open Cup in the first round thrashing of FC Arizona on March 19th. So experience for the former CSUN product. Walter snatching this back, and a counter potential for LA. Playing it forward. Flash too close on Campagnolo, and the chance is lost for Mahalik and company. You see this rapid counterattack. Cairo Walters just playing it forward to Mahalik. Tries to go near post, and it's way too tight on Campagnolo. So we finally got confirmation from the venue here in Fullerton. Eric Diaz vacating for Derek Jones Jr. So that gets intriguing because that's a center back for a fullback. So you wonder if maybe they tuck Nielsen in at center back, who that's his more natural role anyways. So free kick here for Rapids too. Malik Pinto and Jaden Chen tack stand over it. A yellow card also issued moments ago to an LA player. Pinto dinking it back post. A decent first time effort there. The yellow card was issued to Matt Evans. So Evans in the book, and then it changed moments ago. Eric Diaz, who won the penalty, exiting the action for Derek Jones Jr. Here's Bilo Diop, the 18-year-old striker. He's shoved to the deck by Jones.
Substitutions for the black and gold occurred at halftime. Exiting the match for LAFC 2, play number 55, Eric Diaz. Entering the match, play number 56, Jude Terry.
Well, if you are just rejoining us, we welcome you back into Titan Stadium in Fullerton. Sam Goldfarb bringing you all of the action in the nightcap in match week 8 of MLS NEXT Pro. A 1-1 scoreline between LA and Colorado. DeCarlo Guerra opening the scoring from the spot in the 43rd minute. And then moments before halftime, Malik Pinto, a curling effort that just dribbled through a number of defenders to level the scoreline. Here's Walters, has been dangerous for LAFC too. Was hunting the run of Evans, just played it behind him. And Anthony Garcia looking for a way out. Evans. Throughout the match, it's been ebbs and flows, mostly dominated by LAFC2 possessionally. But you have seen moments on the break where Colorado's been dangerous and even out of their normal build-up, at least keeping the black and gold honest, which has prevented them from throwing caution to the wind, likely in addition to the 5 goals they conceded last week. The primary point of emphasis for Junior Gonzalez is cleaning up the back line to be able to see out results, but for a side that plays such an attacking brand of football, you doubt they will let that overshadow their attacking capabilities. Chentak snatching this back for Colorado Rapids too. Amadou. Jones, one of his first touches for the black and gold tonight. Really interesting story, Derek Jones Jr. Someone who spent the first 4 years of his college career at Powerhouse Portland in the WCC, I should say. It's one of the better mid-major college soccer teams in the country, but only made 4 appearances in those 4 years and missed an entire 2 seasons due to injury. So he transferred to CSUN and was excellent in 12 appearances there, got pro attention, and here he is after just 1 season of college soccer in the last 3 as a regular feature. earning a regular starting role for LAFC2. It is an LA squad that prioritizes talent in the area. Last season, of course, Luis Mueller was the standout before he, of course, moved across El Trafichico lines to Ventura County this offseason. He was someone that they found out at Cal Baptist, so they're not necessarily targeting high-profile power conference players. They're targeting a lot of local lads who they know can play. And it has fit Junior Gonzalez's system quite well through the first year and change. Saldaña. This is Moyado. Walters. Back for Evans now. Looking ahead. Decent effort on the half turn from Mahalik, but rolling harmlessly to Campagnolo. Garcia has support ahead. This is Anthony Garcia. Maybe held on to it too long. Comes out to Bilo Giap. Amadou. Chintak. Quite on the same wavelength as Colton Swan. The two of them have a rapport that goes back years. Both academy products, both of similar age as well, and making their debuts at similar times. Swan a little ahead of the curve, working his way into the second team fold a year ago. Chantak starting to carve out a role. But when you talk to Colton Swan, he's mentioned that close relationship. As LAFC2 breaking the other way, Mahalik is through, and Mahalik scores! 5-star counter, and LA is right back in front. Fullerton is rocking, and Tommy Mahalik is the cause of that celebration. Just a counterattack, manages to split the defenders so well, and it's a routine finish from there for the reigning Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year. The Indiana product makes it 2-1 to the black and gold. Mahalik's first Next Pro goal. His second in all comps. And the 22-year-old puts the black and gold back in front. Well, someone who is known for his high potential, but has been converted into a more natural center forward role under Junior Gonzalez. We mentioned LAFC2 lacking a proven number 9, with Alec Hughes injured the last month or so. And so they've converted Mahalik into a more central position. And he scores his first goal in MLS Next Pro to put his side in front. LA also making a change after the fact. They bring in Jude Terry for Brian Moyado. Well, Mahalik, 22 years of age, a native of Skokie, Illinois, who spent 5 seasons at Indiana and scored 24 goals in 89 career appearances. Bookended his time there with a 2024 Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year nod. And now he opens his MLS Next Pro account at the 6th time of asking.
This substitution for LAFC2 occurs in the 55th minute of play. Exiting the match with a blocked goal, player number 66, Brian Moyano. Entering the match, player number 56, Jude Terry.
Well, fans, this portion of the match is brought to you by Kaiser Permanente, the official team physicians of LAFC. We are 55 minutes gone here from Fullerton. It is 2-1 to the hosts, LAFC 2. Moments ago in the 54th minute, Tommy Mahalik opening the scoring for the, giving LAFC 2 the lead to make it 2-1. Opening the second half scoring is more proper phrasing. Walters. Cross comes in. Evans didn't hit it cleanly that time. Nava's cross evading everyone in the area. Well, for those who need a refresher, pretty quiet first half. A match played between the 18s before a controversial penalty allowed DeCarlo Guerra to convert from the spot in the 43rd minute. Malik Pinto fired back on the stroke of halftime with an effort that just rolled beyond everyone and nestled itself in the bottom right. And then moments ago, a rapid counter, very vertical one at that, found its way to Tommy Mihalik's feet, who converted with aplomb to put the black and gold back in front. And that is where we find ourselves, a 2-1 advantage for LAFC2, a side hoping to notch just its second win in the last 6. They look over the top for Mihalik again. And now here he is. Nava has a pop, took a deflection, and the question is off whom? The answer is off Colorado. Just the second corner of the night. It is Saldana to take with in swing. Arcing to the near post. Swan first to it. Now comes loose to Colton Swan. A convoy of Rapids breaking the other way now. Garcia crossing it in. Bilo Diop was through on goal, but couldn't quite put it on frame. Well, anything you can do, we can do as well. A very quick counter. Garcia's cross just a touch behind Bilo Diop, and I think that's what causes him to put it over the net. Decent run from all parties involved, no less. If the first 15 of this second half is any indication, we could be in for the end-to-end affair we promised off the top. May have taken a detour to get there, but here we are. Campagnolo under pressure. Suddenly you see LAFC pressing like the favorites. If this result does hold, LAFC2 would move into the top 8. They would leapfrog Real Monarchs, who's just a point above them in the table, but still 30 minutes to see this out, and it's a real test of the defensive mentality and the resilient mentality Junior Gonzalez has been looking to train with his bunch over the last few weeks. Terry overzealous in the tackle. Whistle sounds against Dauda Amadou in the end, though. LA would climb to just 8th, just one spot, because Minnesota United 2 would hold the tiebreaker on total wins. But it would be a psychological boost for a side that did have a rockier April by their lofty standards. Harris dances past one. And now brought down in the area, an immediate point to the spot. Alex Harris sent tumbling. And Colorado apparently has an opportunity from 12. Well, you see Harris just bypasses Carlos Diaz and wrong foots him, and then the challenge comes very late. Goes for the ball, but catches nothing but boots. And Colorado with a chance to level the scoreline. Alex Harris seems to be the man intent on taking it. And he's won that without much argument. The 4th overall pick in this past year's MLS Super Draft. A goal-scoring machine in college with Cornell. Now looking for his 2nd league goal in as many matches for Rapids 2. It is Harris against Tassal. Colorado looking for a route on back to a level playing field. Harris drills it. We are all square once again here in Fullerton. No mistakes on this spot kick from Alex Harris. You see him win the penalty, no real debate here. The bite comes late from Diaz, and then he just drills this with power and precision into the bottom left to give Colorado Rapids 2 a route back level. The 20-year-old Harris, who was Ivy League co-offensive player of the year and a 2nd-team All-American after scoring 19 goals for Cornell a season ago. Beginning to translate that goal-scoring pedigree to the Next Pro ranks. His 2nd consecutive match with a goal for Rapids 2. Only spent 2 seasons in college with Cornell, was the Ivy League Rookie of the Year in 2023, then became the co-offensive player of the year last year. All in all, scored 31 goals in 34 career college apps. That is his 2nd as a professional. LA taking the lead twice, pegged back both times, and it sets the stage for what should be an enthralling 25 minutes and change. A tackle with too much contact for our referee's liking, Servando Berna. So a penalty either way in this contest tonight. Eric Diaz was brought down in the 43rd minute. And then moments ago, Alex Harris caught from behind as he wrong-footed Carlos Diaz. Both penalties converted. Fans, this portion of the match is brought to you by Stater Brothers Markets. We approach the final 25 minutes here from Fullerton, a 2-2 scoreline. A goal either way. Featured Colorado falling behind twice and equalizing in rapid fashion both times. They called that a good old swift reply. Some contact on the far side here. You see Evans giving chase. Palouse comes in late. No real questions, that's a foul. Evans still walking off the lingering effects of that challenge. Excellent 1-2. Nava just left it dangling. LA is readying a change as we speak. The man set to depart is Cairo Walters. Charlie Rosenthal is tipped to replace him in a matter of moments. Here's the 16-year-old Jude Terry, one of the more recent homegrown player signings for LAFC's first team. Derek Jones Jr. An early cross comes all the way to the back post. Walters keeps it in play. Diaz flashing it back in towards Mahalik. Falls for Terry. Chantak stabs away. Going only as far as Jones now. And a set piece for the black and gold beckoning. Change will take place. The 18-year-old Charlie Rosenthal, a native of Hermosa Beach, California, replacing Cairo Walters. It seems they will wait on the alteration, at least for the time being. Saldana stands over this. Working towards the back post. Jones doesn't reach it. Comes all the way out to Terry. Two frontline changes also being prepared for Colorado Rapids too. Swan. Giop. And both of those will take place. So LA will make the change first. It will be Rosenthal who enters the action. And as previously mentioned, Cairo Walters, the man to depart. He sits on a yellow, a promising spell from the 20-year-old Loney. He's replaced by an 18-year-old in Rosenthal, who's also very dangerous. On the other end of things, Rapids 2 also making two changes. Noah Strelnauer, as well as Josh Copeland enter. And it is like-for-like swaps on the front line. Mamadou Bilo-Diop and Colton Swan to depart. Copeland went pro after just 2 seasons at the University of Detroit Mercy, was a Horizon League third-team selection this past fall. Meanwhile, Noah Strelnauer, an academy product who worked his way onto the fringes of the second team last year, now making his 8th appearance of the season for Colorado Rapids too. So Strelnauer for Swan, Copeland for Giop. Well, buckle up, friends. 20 minutes to go here from Fullerton, a 2-2 scoreline. LA's taken the lead and has been pegged back in rapid succession both times. Loose touch from Rosenthal. And he commits a foul at the end of it. Well, remember, if this scoreline were to hold, then there's still a long way before we get there. We would head to penalties to determine who gets an additional point in the standings. With the way this match has been unfolding, though, it feels like there's at least a goal or two more in it. It's become a very transitional affair. Pinto is one of the 2 goal scorers for Rapids 2. He stands over this free kick. Arcing towards the heart of the area. Jones first to it. Comes out only as far as Harper, the UNC Tar Heel. And far too tight in the end on Campagnolo. Excuse me, on Hasal. Well, this season, it is important to note, LAFC 2 has not lost on its home patch in league play. 2 wins and a draw to date so far. Colorado Rapids do open the year as road warriors. They enjoyed a more recent run of matches at home to close April after spending the first 5 on the road. Well, fans, this portion of the match is brought to you by Toyota. We are in the final 20 minutes of the match, a 2-2 scoreline. DeCarlo Guerra giving LAFC 2 the lead, pegged back by Malik Pinto on the stroke of halftime. And then in this second half, Tommy Mahalik opening the scoring in the 54th. Just 9 minutes later, Alex Harris from the spot, pulling Colorado Rapids to level. Sets the stage for what should be a thrilling final 18 and change. The referee got in the way. Interestingly enough, about DeCarlo Guerra, the first goal scorer for LAFC 2. Someone who received some high-profile looks from major clubs in Europe. Got trial offers from Real Sociedad as well as Stuttgart in 2022, but opted to stay in the States and worked his way through the LAFC Academy into a pro contract. Real Sociedad in La Liga. There was another La Liga side that earned a massive result today. Real Betis, 2-1. How about the goal from Antony? Evan Antony on the other side of this match in Rapids 2, Anthony Garcia. Final quarter of an hour here from Fullerton. Sam Goldfarb bringing you all of the action. It all hangs on a knife edge here at Titan Stadium. Good turnout here on this surprisingly chilly night in Southern California. It was 58 degrees at kickoff. It's only dropped a bit since. Colorado readying 2 more changes, we're hearing. Appears Anthony Garcia and Steve Flores will be the men to make way whenever the referee waves the subs on. This dinked over the top to Copeland, the substitute. And that rolls harmlessly into Hasal's gloves. No options the other way for the black and gold. Saldana. Derek Jones Jr. An early cross, it's a decent one. Chantak was first to it, and the referee's pointing to the spot. A handball against Rapids 2, and it appears there's an opportunity from 12 yards for LA. Well, both sides appealing pretty aggressively here. The question is which way the referee's blown this. He has shown the yellow to Belouz. The initial movement from our referee appeared to be a point to the spot. Let's get another look at this. Jones' cross comes in. It does hit Belouz's hand, and by that logic, it should be a penalty. And that it will be. LA a chance to take the lead once again for the third time tonight. And DeCarlo Guerra once again from 12 yards. He buried one in the late stages of the first half. Can he replicate that feat and put the black and gold back in front once again here? So after a handball against Josh Belouz, who conceded the first penalty, albeit in more controversial fashion, he is now booked. And it will set up DeCarlo Guerra from 12 yards against Zach Campagnolo. And the changes we mentioned for Colorado appear to be taking place in a matter of moments as well. LA also making one change. So 2 changes for Rapids 2. Also, Matt Evans, who's on a yellow card, will vacate for LAFC 2. Gavin Zambrano to replace him. Meanwhile, Sydney with Thuda replacing Anthony Garcia. And Steve Flores leaving for Colorado Rapids 2. Can DeCarlo Guerra convert from the spot once again? A chance to put LAFC 2 in front for the third time tonight. Yes, he can! A second penalty that's even better than the first, and LA leads 3-2. Third penalty issued by our referee tonight, second for LA. It's a blatant handball against Belouz, his hand in an unnatural position, and Guerra unflappable from the spot. Top bins. A center back tonight who is converting from 12 yards like a proven striker. And he has doubled his goal tally across all competitions in 79 minutes this evening. LA 3, Colorado 2, work to be done for Rapids 2 as they make one more change here. Rogelio Garcia now replacing Malik Pinto in an attack-minded change. So it's James Cameron for Flores, Wathuda for Garcia, and now Rogelio Garcia replaces Malik Pinto. Attack-minded swaps for a Colorado team that finds itself behind for the third time tonight.
The LAFC goal scored in the 79th minute of play. The goal scored via the penalty kick, scored by number 46, DeCarlo Guerra. Substitutions for both teams occurred in the 78th minute. Exiting the match for the black and gold, play number 70, Matt Evans. Entering the match, play number 48, Gavin Zambrano. The substitution for the Colorado Rapids 2.
Wathuda now, a free kick as we enter the final 10 minutes from Fullerton. A back and forth roller coaster. Colorado looking to salvage something.
Play number 57, Rogelio Garcia.
Cleared only as far as Cameron. Only ran through to Harris. There was an LA player flattened at the end of that, and it is our brace provider, Guerra. Well, DeCarlo Guerra, 17 years of age. Mentioned that he entered tonight with 2 goals across all competitions. He has converted twice from the spot tonight to double that. And right now has the black and gold in line for a much needed 3 points at home. What a statement of resilience this would be. To go in front twice, be hit back almost instantly both times, and still find your way in front on a third occasion. And it just becomes the question for Junior Gonzalez. Can his side see this result out? It was the primary point of emphasis on the phone with me this week. And we'll put that medal and that emphasis to the test here in the final 10 minutes tonight. Zambrano winning a free kick for the black and gold. It's an LA side that the first season these two teams played dropped both matches. Took 5 from an available 6 last year, including a victory on this ground against Rapids 2 in June. Rogelio Garcia. This is blasted ahead to Copeland with runners in support. Cameron giving chase, keeps it afloat, plays it to Harris. Loose with Thuda down in the area. Loud appeals from the Colorado bench ignored. Sorry. Let's get another look at this. Cameron does well to keep this alive. And then Harris just blasting it off a bevy of bodies before it finally falls for Wathuda. It would have been an incredibly soft penalty to give, you must say. And I believe our officials got that right as well. It is a 10-4 shots advantage for LAFC 2 in terms of shots on goal. But it hasn't been one-way traffic when you watch this unfold. Colorado's just opted to be a little more transitional here in the second half.
Referees issued a yellow card warning to the Colorado Rapids 2 in the 83rd minute of play. The yellow card issued to the Rapids bench.
Rapids bench receiving a yellow for their protests after Wathuda was sent tumbling. Now he stands over this free kick. Nearly found its way to Alex Harris. Copeland. Well, it is all out attack now for Eric Boucher's side. Looking to take anything from this fixture they can. Wathuda. Rogelio Garcia. Comes out wide, and they will come back to the earlier foul. A very appetizing set-piece position for Rapids 2 now. And you see Strelnauer initially battle for it. And Harris taking the brunt of that contact. This is where maybe you wish Sam Bassett was with the second team. Because against Real Monarchs in late March, he scored a set piece from a near identical position. Let's see if anyone else in the squad has a Bassett spectacular in their locker. Garcia and Wathuda standing over it. Now in the final 5 minutes of the initial 90. Garcia has a hit. It nearly came all the way through, but Hasal saw it the whole way. Wathuda. Garcia loses out to Mahalik. And his caution to the wind. There's hardly anyone back beyond midfield for Rapids 2 at this stage. Get another look at the set piece. It's not a bad one. Garcia manages to find the hole in the wall. And it's a decent save from Hasal. His vision definitely would have been at least slightly impaired there. Copeland able to pick out Harris. Well, if you're a goalkeeper, it's not been your dream match. One side facing 2 penalties, the other facing 1. But for neutral viewing, it has been a thriller tonight. A seesawing battle. Colorado's never led, but the first 2 times they fell behind, found their route back. They now must find a third to salvage something from this match. As of now, the DeCarlo Guerra 79th minute penalty is what makes the difference. One of 2 penalties he's converted tonight. Chantak. Flashed ahead, it's deflected. It was very awkward for Hasal in the end. Hasal just does enough. It's very awkward. It comes off the head of Derek Jones. Would have been heart and throat for a moment, but Hasal's able to track over. Strelnauer was hunting the run of Cameron. Let's go out for a Rapids 2 throw into the final minute of the initial 90. Strelnauer weaving through defenders. Cameron laying it off. Amadou followed it up nicely and just tucked it over the bar. Slick interplay here. He was clearly looking for Harris. He overcooked it, but it nearly benefited Amadou, who just blasted it over. Still chances for the visitors to find a way back. A lot of eyes will be on the 4th official in a matter of seconds. With Thuda. 4 minutes of added time separate LAFC 2 from a much-needed 3 points. An avenue into the top 8 of the Western Conference here to begin May. These 4 minutes will feel like 4 hours for the home faithful. For Colorado, this would be just their 2nd loss since the season opening defeat against Austin FC2, a match in which Eric Boucher himself admits they were off the pace. It would be the 2nd defeat in the last 3, which would be uncharacteristic for their run to begin the year. Still time to rectify that, though. Harris Referee ignoring the appeals from the men in white. We're into the final 2 minutes of the added 4. So far, pedestrian viewing for Thomas Assault. Nothing catastrophic his way yet. Nava. LA is nearly over the finish line. A match which has commanded resilience of the highest order. They have answered the bell every time so far. There's now 2 balls on the pitch. And the referee will let play continue. Amadou, that came off the back of Harris. Campagnolo off his line to collect. Gentak, is this the final chance of the night for Rapids 2? Rogelio Garcia, brought down in the area. And out for a corner, nothing more. One final set-piece opportunity for Wathuda and company. And Zach Campagnolo out of his goal for Rapids 2, providing another target in the penalty area for Colorado. It is an empty net the other way for Colorado at this moment. Wathuda within swing, toward the back post. Cleared out of danger, only as far as Garcia, and that is the full-time whistle. LAFC 2 fights over the finish line. Third time was the charm. They go in front 3 times, peg back twice, but they were able to secure a 3-2 victory at home here in Fullerton. DeCarlo Guerra's penalty kick brace is what helps power the black and gold to a much-needed victory at home tonight. They bounce back from the frustrating display at the Town last Sunday and climb into the top 8 of the Western Conference standings. It is now time for our man of the match, and it is none other than the brace provider, DeCarlo Guerra, in the first half, opening the scoring with a sensational penalty in the 43rd minute, and then in the second half, making the difference in the 79th, a second that's arguably better than the first. Top bins, upper 90 in the top right to power LAFC 2 to a 3-2 victory. His performance from center back making the difference for the black and gold. Well, it finishes here, a 3-2 win for LAFC 2. They move into the top 8 in the Western Conference, just ahead of Real Monarchs. For our entire MLS Next Pro broadcast crew, I'm Sam Goldfarb. Once again, our final score is 3-2 to LA. Don't forget, you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long at MLS Season Pass on Apple TV and MLSNextPro.com. Have a great rest of your evening, everyone.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.